Hey guys, welcome back. If you haven't been here before, my name's Kayla Jade. This YouTube video is going to be about my locks. Today is technically my 2-year anniversary, so I want to kind of be taking you guys through my journey over the past 2 years, how I got here, how I got locks in the first place, because I was not intending on having these like ever in my life. I wore box braids the majority of my life, and every once in a while I let my natural hair kind of just to fro go, but it wasn't until I joined the Air Force actually that I got locks. I joined the Air Force. I went through BMT. I started BMT with uh, cornrows slash box braids, and they lasted maybe about 3 weeks because you were just constantly sweating, you were constantly showering, there was no maintaining them. So I took the braids out the third week of BMT, and BMT is about 8 weeks. So for the rest of BMT, I pretty much had to put my hair in a protective style every Sunday, and then I also had to wash my hair every Sunday, which I wasn't used to because I wore box braids, pretty much uh, my whole life. I was used to only washing my hair like maybe like once or twice a month, so I wasn't used to that every week thing. So I was in a headache. And then I graduated BMT. I went to tech school where I met my friend Jay. Jay is completely like one of my closest friends to this day. She was 4 years deep into her loc journey. Here's a picture of her. She is like, we're still super close. Um, we spent 4 months together in tech school, and then about on the last month of August 2021, I asked her to start me with some two strand twist. I told her to do about 80, um, and she did. And like I told her I would keep it in, and the whole time she was retwisting my hair, she was like, "You better keep these in." And we were kind of talking through. She was telling me like, hey, don't wash your hair for the first couple months. Here's some good gels that I use. Here's how you should oil your hair. And she was just so good about like taking me through how this journey was going to look like over the next couple months, because the first year was definitely the biggest year for me. So this is what my hair looked like about a month into the journey. You can see from that ponytail there's not much hair there. My hair was very, very short, especially the shrinkage was just shrinking. I have 4C hair, very, very 4C. And I've always had like a shrinkage thing. Like my hair, like it could be this long and it's gonna always sit here. Um, it's just always, that's how it's always gonna sit. It's always kind of been like that. So I left tech school. I PCS to Korea, um, where I still like my hair was still short, but I would always do the half up, half bun down look because that was just like always my go-to and always kind of my favorite thing to do. Um, Here's a couple pictures right here of what that kind of looked like. Also, while in Korea, hats were just like I was always, 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 always wearing a hat for like for the first 5, 6 months. I was always wearing a hat, not because I didn't like my hair. It's just I was never accustomed to having my hair that short. Because box braids, I would always wear my hair. If the box braids didn't sit like in the middle of my back, they sat like all the way down to the bottom of my back. So I was really not accustomed to the short hair look, and it was my first winter as an adult in like 10 years. I had never gone through a winter except like when I was a kid. So I was always wearing hats because I was also always cold and my head was always super cold. Um, so yeah, hats were kind of like if you're thinking about starting your loc journey, for me at least, because I wasn't used to wearing like short hair, like hats were just they just always made me comfortable. This is about what my hair looked like in the January time frame. Uh, this is kind of the look that I was kind of having. I had just dyed my hair. Dyeing my hair was completely new to me. I was always like a jet black girly. Like I was like I didn't like dye. I thought it would be bad for my hair, especially if you do it incorrectly. I was like, oh, I don't want to dye my hair, and I'm not a salon person. I grew up in a house where it was just like Sunday hair day, always in the house. So I've always been very careful about who I let touch my hair. So even Jay starting my locks, like I knew I could trust her, and I'm always super super particular. But around the 6 month time frame, I got kind of nervous with my locks because I was like, I don't know if they're supposed to be looking like this or if like some are weak, some are strong. I know really not what I was doing, but I was like, I needed a second opinion. So I actually had a friend of a friend recommend me a loctician who was kind of just a girl in Korea that was her side hustle was locking people. So she actually helped me do a detox, and she did a couple retwists for me. And she kind of let me know like, hey, this is how your hair is looking. You're looking good. Keep this up. Stop doing this. Her biggest thing was telling me to stop pulling on my edges so much. So kind of let like the front part of my hair flow, because the more I was yanking on my edges, the more I was gonna kind of suffer. And then she also recommended this castor oil. So I'll kind of show you guys what that looks like, and kind of just helping my edges come back together. especially with all the dye I was doing. It wasn't that I had had any breakage, but she was trying to prevent me from having breakages at all, because growing it back was going to be the hardest part. To then jump 6 months later, so now we're in April of 2022. I decided that it was just time for a change. And April's my birthday season, so I always get a little wild. I dyed my hair like blonde. Like I went all the way like other side of the spectrum, and I loved it. I truly believe blondes have more fun. And once I went here, there was no going back. The only hiccup with going all the way blonde was that I had to up my moisture game like so hard. Like I was spraying my hair. I didn't invest in the sprayer. I was spraying my hair like once a day. I started investing in like I love grapeseed avocado oil because it's just like my hair doesn't like coconut oil and I don't like the smell of coconut oil, but this was like a good balancer, especially grapeseed and avocado. It helps your locks kind of look like a little more smooth. I really love the smooth look. Um, I can reach for it. And then argan oil was like another guy because the dye like was such a huge jump from it was chestnut blonde that I was using before. It was just like honey blonde, and then I went to platinum blonde, which was such like a bigger lifter, and it was just so much more that I was like stress that I was causing on my hair that I had to up my moisture game. I didn't have a choice. And then I also used Miss Jessie multicultural curls. Anytime I spray my hair, I also do, I do the water cream oil routine, and that just kind of helped nurture my hair. And my hair always like I always felt better. It became part of just like my spiritual routine at that point. Also in April, I realized how much my energy actually affected my locks. So in Korea, I was working really hard. Work kind of took a big work took a big jump. It was taking a big chunk of my life. So I took about a 30-day leave vacation and I went back home to Florida. And I was always going to the beach. I was hanging out with my family. I was talking to friends that I had talked to in a while. And I just noticed kind of my locks took this big kind of uptick. Like they were just having such a good time because I was having such a good time. And I realized that all the energy I was taking in around me was being collected into my locks. And I didn't realize that at the time that like if I was feeling stressed, my locks were going to show. If I was feeling happy, my locks were going to show. If I was feeling sad, like everything that I was taking around me, even the people around me, especially like because I was around my family, around people that love me, and I loved them, my locks were just like just having such a good time. And then my sister and my mom started Locs because they were enjoying the journey with me as I was going through it. They're like, we want to hop on this. So now we're kind of a Loc family. And now my brother has Locs. So now we're all just enjoying Locs. My dad would do it, but he's bald. Love you, Pop. When I got back to Korea from home, I decided to stop dyeing my hair for a second because, too much dye is just never good. That's kind of a thing. Even if you do it properly and you do conditioning and you do oil treatments, like you should never dye your hair too much. So I kind of decided to take a break. And I was also getting ready to come back stateside. So I was like, let me take a break. And I had to go back to school. And whenever like too much is happening, I won't dye my hair because I just don't. It's not that I don't feel like me, but I'm still trying to find my footing. So I kind of stopped dyeing my hair, but it was still, it was still looking good. I was still kind of platinum. Then I went to this thing called Korea Mud Fest, which is disgusting. I mean, it's fun. You're gonna have a great time, but I was in the literal mud, and my hair just took a hit. It took a bad hit, and I had to go home. And I was in the shower for about 4 or 5 hours, just trying to squeeze the mud out. It got all in my hair, and I had to do a detox. It was absolutely disgusting. And because of all the minerals, my hair actually turned green. It turned a little green. I didn't know that minerals can cause your hair to turn like blonde hair green. It happens to swimmers where they're like if they have blonde hair, the chlorine will naturally turn their hair green. So all the mud water turned my hair green. So I decided to turn my hair brown. Especially I was going to a new workplace. So I was like, I don't want to start off platinum blonde just because like I don't know. In my mind, I was like, I don't want to leave a bad impression, um but not that like blonde hair can even leave a bad impression, but that was just me in my head. I don't know. I think I was nervous about coming to a new workplace. So I dyed my hair brown and I hated it. I went back to wearing hats. I went back to wearing scarves and bandanas because I didn't like the brown. I felt like it was washing me out. I enjoyed it. I just didn't like it as much as the blonde. Um, so then when I actually got back stateside, I found a great middle ground, which is what you guys see now. It's called chestnut honey. Um, and I really enjoyed that. I'm really enjoying it, and it still kind of has the lightness that I had in Korea, but it's still a little more brown and a little more natural, which I'm definitely enjoying. I think I enjoy that the most only because if I go a couple weeks and I don't dye my hair, it's not going to be as obvious with like the platinum blonde was like you could see when I was going a long time and not dyeing my hair versus like with this one I can go like a couple weeks and people won't be like, oh, what's she going through, you know? So that was about whenever I got back stateside. That was October of 2022. So now if we jump to January of 2023, I got to DC. I moved into my apartment, which you guys see here, and then like like my TikTok was completely taken over by this guy. Like I saw it all over my TikTok, and I was like, you know what? Let's hop on the trend. Why not? Let's go. Um, and then my hair just grew out of nowhere. It like I was looking at pictures and I was like, that's not my head of hair. There's no way. That's I didn't think it was gonna get that long. And it became a lot heavier. And it was great. It was a great blessing, but it definitely caught me off guard and caught me by surprise. So this is kind of where we're sitting now. I still wear hats every once in a while, especially if I'm feeling lazy. I love a good bucket hat. Whenever I go to work, I keep it really simple. I try to just do a ponytail. I do the exact same look every single day. I don't pull like the front of my hair back. I just pull it back with bobby pins instead of pulling it into the ponytail to cause stress. Um, and the other biggest thing that I learned was that my ponytail, because I wear it every single day to work because of the uniform, I have to find like looser ponytails because it was actually causing breakage in my locks and causing like my every single one of my locks had the exact same weak spot because of the scrunchie that was just like it was destroying my locks. So I had to switch to a weaker kind of rubber band so that way it wasn't destroying my locks anymore. And that was like a huge thing I didn't even think about whenever I was starting off. Was like, oh, if I wear a ponytail every day, I need to use something that's a little more weak. That way I'm not destroying my locks. Um, but overall, if you're thinking about starting your locks, I would 100% do it. I just anytime somebody stops me, they're like, "Oh, I love your locks." Especially me and my sister tend to get stopped the most because we have both blonde locks. People like will stop us, be like, "Oh, you guys look just alike, and you both have blonde locks." I always tell people just do it. Like absolutely, just do it. It's low maintenance, but it's also high maintenance if you want to be. It your locks will also let you know like where you're at spiritually because like you can just you start to feel your energy a little bit more. You start to get a little bit more grounded in yourself, which was like I didn't know that was going to come from Locs. um Also, if you're thinking about getting Locs, just find your regimen. Everybody's different. Everybody works differently. Some people like love coconut oil, or some people hate avocado oil. And then also like be flexible. That was kind of the biggest lesson I have to learn. Like sometimes you need to use a clarified shampoo, and sometimes you have to use a moisturizing shampoo. And if you over moisturize, you could run the potential of killing a lock. Um, or if you don't clarify enough, you could walk around stinking. You know, it's things like that where um, you kind of have to learn yourself and learn your body. Like I know that like a retwist is probably going to only last me like maybe 3 to 5 weeks if I'm lucky because I sweat often. I go to the gym way too often. Um, and I wash my hair at least once a month because I'm always sweating. And versus some people can wait 3 to 4 months and not wash their locks because that's like their lifestyle. Every person's different and like do what works for you. Your locks definitely let you know to like be grounded in yourself and like not be afraid to speak up, whether you're doing locks yourself or it's your friend doing your locks or you have a loctician, like being able to speak up and be like, no, this is what I want, no, this is how I want to do this, or like, you know, being able to walk away like, I no longer think this professional relationship is going to work out. My mom has the best loc journey when it comes to speaking up for herself. She has changed locticians like 5 times and she's not afraid to like step away. Like if a loctician's too rough or if they over tighten, my mom will throw up the deuces and be like, I'm good. Like you and I are no longer working out. So the loc journey is it'll teach you things about yourself you didn't know, which I didn't think was gonna happen. I just thought I was gonna have a low maintenance hairstyle and that was gonna be it. But it was definitely a bigger impact than I thought it was gonna have. But if you are thinking about getting locks or you have questions or you want to see some of my routines, just comment below. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Don't be afraid to like, subscribe, and comment. I'm Kayla Jade, and